back to our YouTube channel. Today I am here to guide you through the ideal steps of making a dashboard. So first and foremost step is to understand the data and relating it with the real world. What do I mean by that is whenever you are making a dashboard, you will get some data. Many times it will happen that you don't know much about the data or you don't know the business output of that data or what that kind of business needs to analyze with the help of their data. In those kind of scenarios, it is ideal to do a proper research work before making or before jumping into making a dashboard. So let me give you an example to explain how would you relate your data with the real world. We at Ivy organized a competition in which we gave a data set to the students. Now, the data set given to us was like this. In this data set, we had the state name or union territory name, the city or town that which comes under those union territories, and the SO2, NO2, PM10, and PM25 annual averages. Now, the first question which came to my mind is what is SO2, what is NO2, what is PM10? PM10 I never heard, PM2.5 I never heard. So, what should you do to understand what those things mean? The answer is simple go to ChatGPT or do some general research work using Google. We have so many platforms to do proper research works. Go to those particular places, understand the data, understand and relate it to the real world. So first thing which I did is I went to ChatGPT and asked him that what is these things. So I asked what is SO2, NO2, PM2.5. So it gave me results like SO2 is a colorless gas and how does it impact, what is the main source of that, why it is harmful, and all those things, they mapped it for me. Next thing which you should do is after analyzing and relating it with the real world, what you should do is you should be setting objective of your dashboard. What should your dashboard show? With the given data and with the information of the real world now and be able to relate it to the real world, you need to now set your objective which would serve a problem. So what we did while making this environment, in this entire video, I'm going to use the example of the Environment Day dashboard, which we created at Ivy. Now, while setting the objective of that dashboard, we analyzed what data do we have. We had different years, like for 2021, 2022, and 2023, we had these same structure of data like SO2 average, NO2 average, PM10, PM2.5 average. So we thought, why not make a tracker, a clean air progress tracker, in which we will see whether our initiatives to improve the pollution health of India is working or not working. So for that, we set an objective as to make a dashboard where we can track whether our initiatives are working or not. Next thing in a dashboard should be to analyze data cleaning and selection. Now, what is data cleaning and selection? When you receive data, there is a lot of human intervention in that. So you should first analyze whether your data is clean of any errors or not. And after that, once you have done that, you need to select which data you exactly want for your analysis. So you now know your objective is to track whether my initiatives are working or not. So for that, I only need the latest year and the previous year's data so as to understand what is the change in 1 year. Then we'll understand whether my initiatives are working properly or not. That way we can understand. So instead of using all the 3 years data, which is 2021, 2022, 2023, we decided to use only the current year, which is 2023, and the previous year, which is 2022. Now, going forward, I'll also explain that how can we dynamically create that, like every time a new data set comes, it will automatically take the current year and the previous year for the calculation. Now, once that is done, data cleaning and selection, like what is important for your objective. Not every time each and every information given to you would be required to serve your objective. So first you should clean and discard the unimportant columns and rows from your data. Not the rows necessarily, but most of the times unnecessary columns or unnecessary tables should be removed before analyzing anything. Next thing comes combining similar kind of information into one matrix. Many a times it happens that there are many columns in which you have data. Just like you have sales and cost in different columns, and then you analyze what is the profit we are getting. That is combining 2 or more columns into one matrix. Similarly, in this environment data, we had 4 different columns. Now I thought and we thought that there must be something which is calculated using these, because nobody will analyze different pollutions differently. So there must be something which general public understands, which general public would understand that what is happening and what is not. Then I asked ChatGPT what can be done to combine these 4 into 1, and their answer was to calculate a AQI. AQI is calculated using all the pollutants, and then there is a calculation which is involved behind that. I'm not going into details of the calculations, but yeah. So that gave me that yes, these can be combined into one metric. So rather than looking at 4 different metrics, we can have a single metric and analyze my data. So that is more better. So whenever you have data and you can combine those 2 to 3 different columns into one matrix, so you should always be doing that instead of analyzing all the columns separately. Next thing which comes while analyzing the data is to achieve the main objective. Like you should analyze your data to achieve the main objective. So once you have set your objective, you have cleaned your data and selected the important informations, combine the similar information into one matrix. After that, we need to analyze what can be brought out of those numbers to serve my objective. So what we thought, like we should show the change in AQI. Instead of looking at the AQIs of different years, we can show change in AQI. That way, it will show that it got better or it got deteriorated. So that can be seen because my objective is to track the progress. If the AQI improve, that means my cities are improving. If it didn't improve, that means my cities are deteriorating. So that should be our next step, that whatever objective we have fixed, my data should be serving the objective. My dashboard should be serving the objective. That should be analyzed. My data should be analyzed in such a way that my objective is served. Next thing which comes is, this is a very important thing while making a dashboard. That is, many of you always go to ChatGPT and ask how to do this, how to do that, how to do this, how to do that. But the main thing you should be asking ChatGPT is when you get stuck, you have built the logic, you know how to do this, how to achieve this, but you don't know exactly how to write that using code or how to use that tool using uh, based on the logic you have prepared. Then you can use ChatGPT, it will be helpful. But building the logic using ChatGPT is a lot more difficult. For example, in my dashboard, I have shown deteriorated cities and improved cities. So if you click on this, you will see list of deteriorated cities, and if you click on this, you will see list of improved cities. So now my main problem was how to identify this. First, let me explain how did we decide that what is deteriorated and what is improved. If in the past years it was in deteriorated list, like the AQI was in poor cities, and it improved to either good cities or satisfactory city, then it is considered improved. And the cities which were in the good cities or satisfactory cities, but it moved to moderate or poor cities, then it is considered deteriorated. So what I needed was the the concept was clear. The logic was to achieve the inner join between the tables so that I can find which was those cities which was there in good cities, satisfactory cities in 2021, and it was the same cities which were there in moderate and poor cities in 2023. For that, I needed to join the tables and based on the common column. Now, how to do that? I got confused. It was giving, first I asked ChatGPT, it was giving very vague results. It was giving me very complex formulas, very uh, unachievable outputs. But then I specifically asked him how to find common between two tables. Then it gave me, okay, you can use intersect. Then I filtered my data. I used filter on the 2021 table to achieve only good and satisfactory cities. Then I filtered my 2023 table to achieve only moderate and poor cities. Then I found the common between both the filtered tables. That way I achieved it. But when I tried to build the logic, like how to do it, I just wrote how to find the common between these and like that. That time it failed to answer. So ChatGPT should be used, but it should be used when you get stuck in the tool, not in the logic. Logic should be your own. When you get stuck in the tool, like how to do that, how to do this, then you can use ChatGPT or any AI platform. Next thing which comes is my experimenting with the visuals. Now you can see my dashboard is very nice and clear right now. But in the beginning, when we decided to make it, our dashboard layout looked something like this. Very bad to look at. It had missing, there were some charts over here, but we removed it. But in the beginning, my dashboard looked something like this. Very boring and very out of flow. There is no flow, like something is coming in between, then two things are coming. So this kind of flow was there. But we experimented with the visuals. Instead of looking at the list of the improved cities, we made it in maps so that we can see both which from which portion of India it is belonging and how much is the change in AQI. All things can be seen in one map visual. Instead of looking at two list of items, it is much better to look at these kind of maps where it is color coded. You can see which is deteriorated, the names of those, and also with along with the name you can see what is improved cities. If you click on this, you can exactly see where it is coming. All those things can be seen easily from here. So that should be done using your dashboard. You can easily see which countries are coming in improved cities, which countries are, cities are coming in deteriorated cities, which cities are coming in improved cities in a much more cleaner way. And if you click on the tooltip, you can see which city is that, what is the current AQI, what was the previous AQI, what is the change in AQI, what is the current main pollutant in that particular city. All those things you can see using this. Now this is much more better visual than I shown you over here, right? So instead of looking at this list, that visual is much better. So whenever you are making a dashboard, you should always experiment with the visuals and to understand how can I show many informations in one visual and to maximize the output of that visual. Next thing which comes is deciding the dashboard layout and information flow. So the information should be layered very accordingly. Like if you're seeing at one thing, what is the next question which would come in your mind? In that way, the chart should be placed. So if I'm looking at the first chart, what will be my next question related to that chart? What I see in this chart, what would be my next question? Linking that chart. That should come in next in the flow. That way, you need to decide the dashboard layout and information flow. Next thing which comes is deciding the visual titles. Visual titles is very, very important. Suppose you have done many calculation, many iterations in the backend, you have shown many things very clearly, but you have not written your titles correctly, then the user will not even understand what does this chart mean and what is that chart is showing or what that visual is trying to convey to us. So in order to understand, in order to make things easier for the end user to understand, it is very important to keep your titles in such a way that the end user is able to understand what your chart or what your visual exactly means. That should be very clear with your titles. Now, next thing comes is making everything dynamic, starting from text to numbers to visuals. What do I mean by that is, in my dashboard, you can see over here, it is written clean air progress tag, notable progress. What if I give it a new data set of 2024 and in that year, the air progress has deteriorated? This title should change accordingly. So what we have done, we have changed this title from a normal text box to a card visual, and we have applied formulas to dynamically determine the title. Even all these things like years and the previous year, current year, all are taken dynamically. If a new year comes, that will be taken as current year, and the year previous to that year will be taken as the previous year. All these things are very dynamic over here. Whenever a new data will come, all these numbers like 5 poor cities, 200 satisfactory cities, main pollutant, these numbers, this AQIs, everything will change according to the data. So this dashboard, whenever you're making a dashboard, always think of the future usability of that dashboard. If it can be used by a future user or not. If you feed any new data to it, if you feed the current data to it, will it work the same way it is working now or not? That should be decided and that should be taken care of. Next thing which comes is final insight. There should be one visual present in your dashboard which sums up the final insight of your dashboard. Just like over here, I have prepared one final insight visual over here in which you can see what is the final insight. Like 5 poor cities are there, 200 satisfactory cities are there, average AQI is 91.65%, and all those things you can see over here. So this is summing up my final insight of my dashboard. Just like a newspaper, whenever you see some visual, on top of that, it is also written in text. These information you can see in my visual, but still it is written in text so that it is more understandable that what these numbers actually mean. Because users are habituated to read text rather than visuals. So some things should be in text to make it more understandable. After that, you should be showing your visuals. Now, finally, when all these steps are completed, the final thing should be final touch. Like there can be some errors, spelling errors, or some title errors, or some minute formatting errors, anything like that should be fixed at the very end. Everything should be checked whether there is any kind of error left, any kind of formatting issue is there, all those things. After checking all those things, just like if you can see over here, this is not the final dashboard. Over here I made a spelling mistake of deteriorated. Those all things should be fixed before handing it to the final user. Okay, so that was it for today. These are the steps you should always follow before making a dashboard. These steps are very important while making a dashboard which is useful and purposeful to the end users. Thank you so much.